What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at another viewer's car. This is Bart's Mercedes AMG A45. Now, of course, we made our videos with the car when it came out back in 2015. I think the facelift came out. This is a 2016 car. But it's always good to revisit them after a while, especially since a lot has changed in the world of cars since then. And well, I love driving viewers' cars because they're always a little bit different and they're always fun to drive. So yeah, here we are. It is horrible out today. The rain just stopped, but it is still quite wet. But we've got 4MATIC, of course, so should be quite okay. Now, this car in white also has the aerodynamic package, the AMG aerodynamic package. So you get these canards at the front, you get a more aggressive splitter, the twin blade grille, of course, for the AMG version as well. Quite a nice spec, I think. The contrast with the black and white is quite nice. And it's still a handsome car, I think, this third generation A-Class W176. I do think the facelift is particularly handsome. The pre-facelift feels a bit old now, and the facelift sort of kept up, which is nice. Wheels, we've got these 18-inch, very nice AMG wheels. Behind that, AMG brakes, upgraded for the A45, of course, and we've got AMG suspension as well. Now, for the facelift, they introduced adaptive damping, so adjustable damping. Basically, this car does not have that, so it's quite firm, but it's not bad for these roads. Tire wise, we've got Continental Conti Sport Contact tires. That's a long name. 235s at the front, 18-inch, as I said. We've got black mirrors, black window surrounds, panoramic roof. At the rear, we've got 235s as well, and then the spoiler for the aero package with the diffuser as well. Quite an aggressive diffuser there. This is Bart's YouTube channel. He came with his brother today, who owns the RSQ3. You will also see on our channel, and they run this channel together. So if you're interested, go check them out. Auto Praat. It's basically car talk in English. So if you're interested, it is in Dutch, I guess. So go check that out. Exhaust wise, we've got dual exhaust, but like with a dual exit on each side. But it is, as you can see, it is fake, so it's part of the bumper. Real exhaust is in there. Now, moving on to the engine, which when the car came out, even when it first came out with 360 horsepower, everyone was like, what the hell? How did they do that? Like a 4-cylinder, 2-liter with 360 horsepower. The horsepower per liter on this thing is amazing. And this facelift is even crazier. 381 horsepower, 475 newton meters of torque for, you know, 190 horsepower per liter. That is pretty insane. And it is a very impressive engine, I have to say. It's not the most charismatic engine. It's still a 4-cylinder that kind of sounds, I don't know, like a 4-cylinder. You do get big bangs and crackles, especially on the upshift and on the overrun, but the engine itself doesn't sound that exciting, but it is a very, very impressive thing. It's just, you know, it's pretty amazing what they've been able to do. Back then it was crazy. After this, of course, came another A45 S with 421 horsepower, and the 4-cylinder in the new 63 has even more power. So, you know, yeah, they just keep going. But back when this came out, this was pretty crazy. Interior wise, nice spec as well with the Recaros. Super nice seats, very supportive, and then a lot of red accents and this like fake soft touch carbon fiber material on the dash. It's still a hatchback, right? So even though you do have like Mercedes quality and stuff like that, but it's still a hatchback, right? So you do get Mercedes quality, you get all the Mercedes stuff, but it's not super luxurious or anything like that. Start her up. So you also get the little iPad on the dashboard. I think a lot of you really don't like that. I always saw a lot of comments about that you thought it was stupid. But you know, now I don't really care anymore. It's just, it's a pretty basic system. Everything is in there, your radio, media, and your car settings. But other than that, I don't think you will use this anyway. And yeah, let's switch to Sport Plus. That also opens up the exhaust valve, and we'll turn off traction control. There we go. So sound wise, they did try to give it like a real proper sound. The exhaust sounds, it is pretty loud, and as I said, you get like big bangs and crackles. So let's go for manual mode for the gearbox as well. So the shift sound, I remember driving this car back in the day, and it drove me absolutely nuts, because you have it on every shift when you're in like Sport Plus mode. Sometimes it's a bit louder than other times, but it's always there, and kind of drove me nuts. But I guess what happens if you are in Sport Plus and then you close the exhaust valve? Let's check that out. Yeah, still there. Okay, so I'll give them this. It is, you know, there's a lot happening. It is spectacular. For a 4-cylinder, there's a lot going on, and I think they did a good job on that. But just the repetitiveness of it, it always gets to me after a while. I'm like, oh, okay, so now I know the trick. So at least they tried to give you, you know, an AMG experience, which I can only applaud. Okay, so let's do a launch control. As I said, we've got 4MATIC. It is a system that basically sends power to the rear when the front can't handle it anymore. So it's basically a front wheel drive setup, but we can use launch control by pulling both pedals and then pedal up to confirm. Full throttle. There we go. And that's 0 to 100. 4.2 seconds should be possible. I did have a failed launch earlier where I just completely shut off the 4-wheel drive and it was only front wheel drive. You can hear that in the sound video, I think. That's sort of a weak point of this gearbox. It kind of overheats quickly, and then it gives you a notification that that the 4-wheel drive is no longer available or something like that. So what is this car good at? Well, point-to-point pace. This thing is an all-weather like super hatch, and of course this and the RS3 kind of pushed each other to new heights, and we got like a hyper hatch, super hatch, hyper hatch, whatever. We got a new category basically because they just kept upping it, and the power just got completely ridiculous. It's not the most communicative car. It doesn't provide a lot of feedback. It just kind of goes where you point it. It's a super effective car in that way. So I don't think you buy this car because you want a super sharp hot hatch. I think you buy this car because you want a comfortable daily that is kind of practical but also very fast and looks cool, and it's like a super hatch in the sense that it delivers more than just a hot hatch, which is basically like a regular car with a more powerful engine and a better suspension setup. This is much more premium than that, right? You can get better handling cars for a lot less money. So that's not the point of this car. The point of this car is that you have a dual clutch 7-speed transmission, you've got all-wheel drive, you've got a relatively luxurious interior, you've got a Mercedes, which is desirable in itself for a lot of people. So yeah, it's quite a complete package, this. And I also like the speedo. I love the analog dials. It just gets me every time. It makes me realize how much I actually miss it. Okay, so back to automatic mode. We're in Sport Plus still. Top speed is limited at 250 kilometers an hour. There was an optional driver's package available, which took that up to 270. But this car does not have that, unfortunately. So 250 is what we're going to try and do today. I do have to say that the car feels like very, very grown up. For such a small car, it feels very stable, very planted. It's, you know, the suspension is quite firm. But it feels good to drive it again. It's been a while since I drove this car. I quite like it. It sounds so much better than the newer A45s. So already coming up at the limiter. That's 258. Martijn is on the bridge, so we're going to do a flyby as well. A very slow flyby, but there we go. Some sound for you guys as well. But as you can see, it's at high speeds, it's super nice. I also think the steering gets a little bit heavier in dynamic mode, or in Sport Plus, I should say. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so but it actually still feels pretty good. You can feel that it's artificial, of course, but it's not bad. So let's turn around. It has a lot of grip as well. Limited slip diff also optionally available. I don't think this car has that. No, it doesn't. Oh, but it does. It kind of. It's a very good front end, this. Even though you have that engine up front and you have basically front wheel drive, it feels very capable. I think the way it sends power to the rear when it needs power there is very well done, actually. So 100 to 200 we haven't been able to do a measurement yet, since it's been very wet. So I'm doing the review first and then we're doing the measurements after that. So I'll put up the list right now and you can check it out, the time it did and how it fits in the list basically. So downshift, kick down. It picks up well. I mean, it does have some lag at the lower revs, but as soon as it gets going, it picks up and it goes. Pretty impressive. And even though it's not the most like beautiful sounding car, I like the fact that you at least have some sound and that most of it is not fake. Right? There is some fake sound, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think that's just exhaust. Okay, not bad, not bad. So very effective super hatch that is nice to have as a daily driver. I would recommend though, if you are looking for one, or if you're planning on getting one or whatever, to go for the adaptive damper option and the limited slip diff and the driver's package. Those three things just take it to the next level. But other than that, this is a really nice car, and the person who bought this car definitely spec'd all the right exterior and interior options. So you have the bucket seats and the aerodynamic pack and stuff like that. So very nice car. Thank you so much, Bart, for taking it to us. Enjoyed driving it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right or this playlist on the left. See you at the next one. Bye.